Welcome to Win with Barlow, the podcast where we turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. With your host, Akira Barlow. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of DNA testing businesses. Looking to maintain momentum or ready to scale? This series is your guide to success. Let's get started.
Hey cousins, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. Go ahead and hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Today, we are talking about something that every drug testing business owner needs to hear, especially if you are just getting started and you are sitting there wondering, okay, I'm certified, I have supplies, I have an LLC, but where are the clients going to come from, okay? Because that is the real question, right? Getting set up is one thing, but getting people to actually pay you is a whole different conversation. And I want to be real with you today, okay? I'm not going to tell you to go and put a whole lot of flyers out on car windshields and parking lots. I'm not going to tell you to go post in random Facebook groups and just hope for the best. Listen, we are going way beyond that, okay? I am going to be giving you 5 actual strategies to land real paying clients, especially in the DOT space, because that is where the consistent money lives, okay? We're talking trucking companies, we're talking aviation, and we're talking the industries that are legally required to test. So that means they're not going to ever stop needing you, okay? Now let's get into it. Now, number 1, all right? Let's build real relationships with trucking companies, all right? And this is probably the most direct path to consistent revenue when you're starting out, just going straight to the trucking companies. But here is why this works so well. Every single trucking company that operates commercial motor vehicles, they are required by the Department of Transportation to have a drug and alcohol testing program in place. That is a federal law under the 49 CFR Part 40. They do not have a choice, okay? They have to test their drivers. They have to do randoms. They have to do pre-employments. They have to test after accidents. All of that makes a big deal. And that's a lot of testing, okay? That is a lot of testing. And a lot of these smaller trucking companies, like the ones that have 1 to 5 trucks, 10 trucks, 20 trucks, they typically don't have like a huge HR department. And so that is where you're going to come in at, because they don't have anyone managing this for them. They're usually stressed out from running the business. They're usually stressed out trying to remember compliance rules. And that is where you're going to come in. Now, here is how to approach them, okay? Don't just cold call them and pitch. All right, that is dead, y'all. You're going to have to show up. Go to the actual trucking companies. Go to the actual trucking yards that you want to work with. Go to the freight companies in your area. Walk in, introduce yourself, and lead with how you can help make their life easier, okay? So I would say something like, hi, how are you guys doing? My name is Akira Barlow, and I specialize in DOT drug and alcohol testing for trucking companies. I literally can handle everything from collections to random program management and making sure you guys can stay compliant so you never have to worry about a DOT audit. Can I leave some information with you guys just in case you run into a situation and you may need me? That kind of thing, okay? I'm not actually selling. I'm just trying to position my business to be able to solve a problem for their business, okay? I'm also going to follow up within like a week at least. I also do recommend bringing like a simple 1-page overview of like your services and your pricing. And y'all be friendly, be consistent, and be reliable. Don't roll up into these people's spots with a little chip on your shoulder, and like go in your business uniform or dress professionally, okay? Because I don't wear like company logo stuff all the time. I'm a little fashionista every now and then, okay? So dress professionally and show up and really, really talk to these people and talk to them as if they are another business owner and you're a business owner. Don't go into this just trying to sell, 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 sell. Go into it acknowledging the problem that you can actually solve. All right? Let's talk about strategy number 2, partnering with DOT compliance consultants. That is major, and that really turned my business all the way around for me. I do come from a trucking background, so I knew a lot of people that were already in the trucking industry. So it was really important for me to partner with DOT compliance consultants. So they're already working with truck drivers. They know who needs help. They know what areas these companies need help, and I just want to be a referral partner for them. Also, for me, I recognize that there are people and companies out there who literally need help. Like they need compliance help. So they recruit other people in trucking to help them. And these compliance officers help them with like driver qualification files, hours of service, vehicle inspections, all of that. Okay. And so I want to be able to be a consultant for them when it comes to the drug and alcohol policy kind of thing. So I know you're probably wondering, like, how am I going to find these people? Okay. Where am I looking up a DOT consultant or a compliance specialist? Like, where do I find them? I would start first with commercial insurance agents. I would look on LinkedIn. I would look after anyone that handles like IFTA filings, IFTA, IFTA, anybody that handles like startup or trucking companies, your CDL schools, all of those, okay? This works with trucking associations as well because most states have a trucking association. So, like a state chapter for like the American Trucking Association or something like that. Get involved, y'all. Go to trucking shows, go to truck stops, get involved, show up to their events, become a known face in this space and in your community because that is how you're going to be able to establish your credibility and establish your presence. All right. Now, number 3, targeting. Y'all know I'm a little country, okay? So y'all know, all right? But let's target the aviation industry as well, because that is a very powerful niche in this whole DOT thing. And so many people forget about it because we are focusing so much on trucking because it's such a huge population of truck drivers. But the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, they do require drug and alcohol testing for all of their safety sensitive employees. So we're talking about the pilots, we're talking flight attendants, ground crew members, even the air traffic controllers. All right. Now, I know you may be thinking, I don't have an airport near me, or I just can't roll into the airport to market to anybody. All right. But here's what most people don't realize. You don't actually have to live near a major international airport to tap into this market. There are so many small regional airports. There are so many private aviation companies. Y'all, there are charter services out here. There are aircraft maintenance facilities, flight schools. Like they are everywhere. Okay. All you have to do is show up as a reliable local collector and you can make money. Y'all are literally sleeping on all of these industries. Break down the people who are a part of the DOT sector, and that is how you're going to find these clients. All right. Now, when it comes to approaching like your aviation clients, I would just make sure that you are actually familiar with the FAA drug and alcohol testing regulations. All right. That is going to be under 14 CFR Part 120, I believe. 14 CFR Part 120. I like to give a few references here and there so that you guys can go and study, all right? That is the federal regulation that governs aviation testing. So you want to study it, you want to know it, so that when you walk into a conversation with an aviation company, you can literally speak their language and you can showcase that you're the actual expert in this, all right? I will also reach out to like my FBOs, so like a local fixed base operator, someone who is handling like your aircraft maintenance organizations, people who are handling like any charter companies and regional airlines. I will reach out to them, introduce myself the same way you would do with trucking. I would lead with compliance, I would lead with convenience, and of course, I got to lead with the fact that I specialize in this sort of testing, all right? Now, your aviation clients, they tend to be very, very loyal once you actually earn their trust, all right? These are businesses where safety is just their priority. So if you show up professionally, you're following up consistently, you should be able to land some of these particular sectors of people. And be strategic. Create a lead list, y'all. Quit waking up, dropping off flyers all over town. Like actually create a list of people that you want to market to and speak to and schedule meetings and jump on Zoom with people. Like handle your business, all right? Now, number 4, we almost done, all right? Number 4, let's get listed with third-party administrators or TPAs, all right? And this is one of the most underutilized strategies, even though there's so much content about sign up with this company, sign up with this company, sign up with this company. They can bring you clients. They'll send you supplies, all of that. But here is how it actually works, all right? A TPA, which is a third-party administrator, let me say it again, okay? A TPA which is a third-party administrator. It's a company that manages drug and alcohol testing programs for other companies on behalf of the employer, right? So the employer pays the TPA to handle like all of their logistics. So they pay them to handle like their scheduling. They pay them to handle like managing their random pool, tracking like their results, and just maintaining all of their compliance records. That's why they hire a TPA. So for example, a trucking company, they would probably reach out to Foley, and they will allow Foley to handle all of their trucking responsibilities. And Foley, which is a TPA as well, will reach out to you to handle any of their testing needs if necessary in your area. All right, so that's kind of how it works. The TPA has literally a network of collection sites around the country to actually perform the drug screens. Now, if you're listed in their network, they are literally going to send the person to you. That's really how it works. They will send the client to you. You're going to collect the specimen. You're going to process it through the lab, and then you're going to get paid. Like, that's literally how it works. My advice to you is to make sure that you are signing up with some of the major TPAs, especially if you're mobile. Sign up with some of these companies that take on mobile collectors. Workforce QA, First Advantage, National Drug Screening. Foley is also a good one. Cora Group. Those are good TPAs. So reach out to them, get listed. I would get listed with at least as many as I possibly could. I'm not going to even front, but I would start out just making sure that I'm good with at least 2 or 3 and kind of working my way up and not really just overloading myself, because you still have to perform the work. Okay. So, and also remember too, when you partner with a TPA, you're not getting exactly what you charge. So if you charge $120 for a DOT test, the TPA most likely is not going to pay you $120. All right. You're going to have a collection fee, and you will find all of that out when you sign up with the TPA. They'll supply you with all of that information. All right. And number 5, all right, let's show up on Google more consistently and more effectively. All right. A lot of times people just create a Google business profile and y'all just put it up. And so when we click on it, the only thing that we can see is the street. We can see the building where you may be located, but that is not enough. All right. It's just not enough. If you're in my coaching program, then you know how I am always on y'all about making sure that that profile is set up for success, because that is your first impression on these particular clients or people that are looking you up. That profile should literally reflect everything that you stand on for business. So if you're standing on convenience, if you're standing on compliance, if you're standing on trust, they should be able to see that, know that, and feel that from their profile. You also should have some direct links there. They should be able to order things directly from the profile. They shouldn't have to leave their profile to do a whole lot. They can read what you offer. They can see the price points. If they want to book a test, they should be able to do that strictly from their profile. It's completely free. You should be able to upload content as far as like photos and videos. If I'm running any promotions, I will put that in my profile, because if you're brand new, you're probably not going to be on their first page of Google, because we do want to rank higher as we grow in business and in the local search results. But that extra layer of information on your profile is going to give them everything that they need before actually having to call you. It's kind of like a way that you can just sell, okay? Make sure your descriptions are as detailed as possible, all right? That's one thing. And just make sure that is unique, all right? That is, like, again, you're the first place that people are going to find you. So let their profile reflect who you are. I would even put up any promotions, any coupons. I will allow them to see it there. Also, let's make sure we're capturing our Google reviews. Even if a person is just inquiring about a service, I'm still going to ask them to leave a review. Even if a person is just coming in to pick up a kit, I want to gain as many reviews as I possibly can, because we know that your online presence is important. Okay. So there you have it, cousins. There you have it. 5 real strategies to get clients. If you notice, I did not tell you to go put out a whole bunch of flyers. If you notice, I didn't tell you to run around town with your head cut off like a chicken. Like, you need to sit down and say, okay, this month we are going to focus on these key ways to market the business. And we're going to just literally go hard on these 3 strategies, whether it is emailing, whether it is cold calling, whether it's a combination of all of those things. You are going to have to figure out exactly what works for you to be able to get exposure exposure and for you to be able to get clients. So pick one of the strategies that I gave you today, take action on it, and then add another one in a couple of weeks or a month or so. But let the strategies build out so that you can see whether they work for you or not. All right. Now, if this video has helped you and you've learned some new information, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you want me to do a video on a specific topic, let me know in the comments as well. Thanks, cousins, so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.